questions. Series of theories, asking all the big questions.
Hey up lads, I've had an idea about the podcast.
Series of theories, asking all the big questions. Series of theories, asking all the big questions. Series of theories.
Hello and welcome to Series of Theories podcast, the podcast where we ask the big questions with our mate Gemma Danielle today. Got it right in one. Now we're talking. Now today's question Josh has for us, and we want to know that question now.
Is internet piracy unethical?
Oh, I love that fake reaction every time.
Is it?
Ooh, as if we'd never heard that before. Oh my god, where did that come from? You are a mind boggler, Josh. Josh, you did not a dissertation, but a sort of documentary on this?
Yeah, it was
at uni.
Yeah, part of for my final year, we were asked to come up with any music-related thesis and then do a report on it. And I did mine in a documentary form, and it was because I do feel quite strongly on this about internet piracy.
Thank God.
Yeah. Eventually, I mean, I was saying that as long as if people are sharing the music, and it's, well, from a music point of view, if people are sharing it and it's going to a different audience, then surely that's beneficial. But
So, with this, did everyone bring a question to the table, and yours was this question that you brought with you?
yeah.
So when you put it forward in that room, what was the general consensus?
See, some people agreed, but other people, I mean, this was 7 years ago, so things have changed quite a bit since then.
Yeah.
But some people were of the opinion that if you make a piece of art, then people should have to pay for it. Like, why? Even if an artist has spent so much time on something, like creating an album or creating a single, then they're trying to sell it, is it then unethical? Is it then considered stealing for someone to be then trying to share that online without their permission for taking the money away from them?
That's a good conversation and a good part of it.
So some people believe that, and other people believe what I was thinking. And
Okay.
I still stand by what I said even now. I think it's become even more that way now. I think now people are giving away more music for free, and it's become even more accepted.
Gemma, do you still have Limewire?
I never had it.
Really? You
I've
lucky
always
git.
played by the fucking rules. Always played by the rules. Always bought me stuff.
Really?
Massive CD collection.
I have a massive CD collection. Like, I don't. Yeah.
First CD? Do you know what it was?
Destiny's Child.
Wow, that's a good one.
That is a
yeah.
cool
Can
one.
you pay my bills? Can you pay my telephone bill?
Ooh. I thought we were going to go into a full musical then.
Flash mob.
No, I heard of LimeWire though. When you used to have those little MP3 player things.
Yeah.
Full of
Virus-ridden.
MP3s that go
Absolutely
halfway
attack
through
your
'cause you download it
computer.
illegally.
You could only hold 30 songs on mine.
There was no greater feeling though, getting up, ready for school, getting Simpsons downloaded, like first season or whatever, going to school, living your day, thinking I'm watching Simpsons when I get home, coming back, and you either got Simpsons or it's gone corrupt halfway through, and you're sort of really excited. What's he gonna do? Yeah, I've got a Simpsons. Put it on the iPod. Brilliant.
Or you come back and it says 4 days remaining.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, that's it.
Youngins today don't know how easy they've got it.
I didn't feel too bad in that though. I mean, I don't know how conscious I was as a kid. Probably not much because I'm not that conscious now. but I feel Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, is probably doing all right.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine. And
It's
me
always
as a
on
kid,
telly.
begging to watch for the box set of Simpsons was probably about 30 quid in the day. And that's a
DVDs were
lot of
expensive.
money for my mum and dad to be forking out after a long day's work for them. So, yeah, I don't think it was too much of a problem in my little child heart. What do you feel?
I think, like you say, with if it's a big act or big
Disney.
if it's something like that, or a big Hollywood film that's got loads of budget, a few people downloading it isn't really gonna. It is an
Ice cream
Is
van.
that an ice cream van?
Pause it, guys.
Does it
We
come into
literally
it?
pause everything. It all comes back in and we're all gone. I just stood there
Like,
with Mr. Whippy.
Did you ever have, like, this used to piss me off so much. So they'd come down our street and then you wouldn't have the money on you because you're playing on the street. So you'd go, hang on a second, and you'd run to get your £1, but your mum is taking ages.
Yeah.
And the guy said he'd wait and you'd come out and he'd fucked
Gone.
off.
Yeah,
And it
100%.
used to hurt me so much.
Did you throw a stone at him ever on his way
No, because
past
he was
around?
gone. No, he's already gone by that point.
He was gone. He was like, well, these kids aren't buying drugs from me, so I'm going to go to the next street.
No, I've definitely been disappointed by a few ice cream men in my time. 100%.
That sounds like another podcast.
Yeah, all on its own. I might have an ice cream man on my podcast one time.
You've
really
got
let me
words with you.
Yeah.
Why did you drive off?
In terms of internet piracy, I feel I have a very similar view to you. Is if the band like One Direction, Let's Go, or are really accelerating, the performances all over the UK, in America, global, the millions and millions and millions of pounds.
Yeah.
Is it really harming them so much?
How much are they seeing as well? This is the other thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, if you've got an artist that's signed to a major record label, the chances are, if you buy their music, they ain't going to see much of that money. The
No.
record label's going to get a lot of that money, just recouping the advance they've probably already given the artist. So, again, like, they're doing all right. Record labels are doing all right. They're doing very well at shafting artists as well.
Yeah.
So, what's the
Let's,
harm?
like,
in it?
shaft
You're not
them
really
back a little
taking from
bit.
the artist in general. They're taking from the artist. You're just taking from the label. So,
I think what it did again as well was it made people be innovative with how they sold their music and how they sold themselves, because you cannot recreate a perfect performance, so they made their performances on stage the places where people wanted to be, and that would get everybody in, and I would see the majority of that money.
Yeah.
And I do remember, you know, a vinyl or a cool CD, I'd buy it if it had something special with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It was a cool picture, then it had the bios all in the back, you felt special from that. My first was a D12.
yeah.
Yeah.
Blue and yellow, purple hills. I've found it. Oh, what a
I don't
song!
know that song.
Oh,
Eminem.
Eminem.
Yeah, Eminem started a band. What is that song? My band. The lead.
Chicks don't even know the name of my
band.
band. That one.
Oh, that's, I remember, because it only had 2 songs on.
Yeah.
It was Blue and Yellow,
That,
Purple
Purple
Pills,
Hills,
Purple Hills won it as well.
Yeah.
And they had to release Purple Hills.
Yeah, yeah.
Radio. Yeah.
And then my band, and we used to go as a family down to like Essex as on a holiday, and my mum would have a David Bowie with a proper full track. They'd have that, and I'd have just my 2 songs. So I'd be waiting all this time for them, and then my CD's finished. I just think, what have I done? I ended up getting to the streets after that. That was my second CD.
A few more bodies of work there.
Yeah, 100. It was my first one was a Grand Don't Come for Free album as well, and that's what really got me into concept music. Do you know, that building a story up from start to finish.
Was that the second one?
Third, I think.
The original.
Oh no, it is the second.
The original Pirateria was first, then Grand Oak.
Yeah.
Three, innit?
Then he did 5, didn't he,
Yeah.
altogether? But yeah, for me, it was those albums you'd get, but they'd have something really special within it. So it did make artists start having to rethink about how they did it and how they sold it. Because yeah, you can get the sound and find it on the internet, download it, whatever you want to use. But then it just made them a little bit more thinky about how they're going to show themselves.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a good feeling towards it.
There's so many ways you can support artists as well now. I mean, I think I think streaming has caused a lot of it anyway, because people don't tend to buy music as such anymore. You'll pay a subscription for a streaming service. Again, artists not going to see a lot of that money unless you're getting big streams. So I think you look at it like people aren't tending to buy that much music anyway, really. So all you've got to do is, if you're an artist, I think be creative and figure out ways that you can monetize other parts of you, like doing merch and stuff like that. But like this is even to the extent of artists doing the NFT things now and the crypto tokens and artwork and digital artwork and that kind of thing. And that could be something that takes off. You've got so many ways of kind of monetizing it now. It's just about finding it, I think. And I think the kind of whole mentality of I want to make money from my music is a little bit old school, and it's a little bit kind of, well, how? How are you going to? Because unless you're getting people specifically buying your music and you own the masters and you own all the rights, you're probably not going to make loads of money off just your music. You want to make money off something else alongside.
So you want to build that fan base, really, and the fan base will, if things are being shared illegally, I guess, it broadens that fan base, which essentially you can use to your own advantage.
Yeah.
And then if they do really, really buy into you as a brand, then they'll preferably go and see you live, or maybe buy one of the collectible things like a vinyl or merch.
Be more involved and part of the cult, let's say, like, because you see that with fans and artists now, don't they? They've just got cult followings.
But then, like, as an artist, we're kind of different because we have our own studio, we can record and do a lot of it ourselves. That used to be surely one of the biggest costs for artists is studio time and actually making a record.
Yeah.
So then to be expected to give that out for free after you spent so much time and money on it.
Yeah.
I can see why that would piss a lot of people off.
Yeah.
Really.
How would you feel? Do you know if you found out people have just been illegally downloading all your material and sharing it left, right, and centre?
If they're making more money than us, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
If they're profiteering and we're not, then that would annoy me. But because I've grown up with Kazaa and Limewire and all of those sort of things, I don't really have the right to be pissed off about it. Like, with the amount that I've done it myself, if someone was doing it to my music, I really wouldn't mind. But like you say, if someone was like redistributing a CD, like that's a good example. That's a good example actually. Like people selling off pirate DVDs in pubs. They're copying they're downloading the film online. Copying the DVD and then they're profiting off the DVD. Is that really right?
But then, like, you could think if somebody's bought that DVD and really enjoyed the experience of that, then they've got a new viewer that's really into their material, and they could buy merch, they could get really into it, and it's opened up a door, an avenue that they wouldn't have had before.
True.
And I mean, you got to know what you are as an artist. For me, music is fully a passion project. That's all I want it to be now. So the more ears and the more eyes that I have on my material, my product, I'm just happy for. And there's no emphasis on making money from it really at the minute. But then if I did find out somebody was doing that and they found a way of making money from my music and I hadn't, I'd be pretty pissed off then.
I think it's all about, it's not black and white. Everyone's going to have a different opinion on it.
Yeah, it's quite nuanced.
What you want from your music. And I think all you've got to do is, again, like I say, if someone's making money out of it and you're not making money out of it, that's a very difficult pill to swallow. And that is something you probably will be pissed off about. But if someone's sharing it and just going, here you go, download this track for free off my SoundCloud, let's say. It's not my track, but download it for free if you want it. And then they've got loads of followers or something, and you've got a fan base off it.
Free marketing.
Yeah, it's just free marketing. Yeah, you would pay a fortune for that.
But then we're talking about different levels. So if we're talking about like our sort of level of where we're at in our career compared to someone who is, you know,
established,
and gigging all the time, and it's just relentless, and they're working so hard, then, you know, maybe your perception of that's going to change, because you're like, I'm working my ass off, not, you know, I don't want to do it for free, because maybe it does switch onto no longer so much passion, but it's a job, and you don't want to be working for free.
No, of course.
I try and become quite an ethical consumer of whatever it is I'm taking on, and looking at that person, if I feel or look at, oh, you know, they're going in jets here, they're driving a Ferrari there, they're doing that, in my heart I can go, I'll probably
swipe.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll get that track if I really want it. But for a band or yourselves or people on our level, that's more where I make an ethical decision, because I go, oh, they're really trying their best to make it get through. I'd probably pay more for that, you know. I'd chuck them a tenner thinking, I'm helping somebody out directly now.
Take from the rich, give to the poor.
Yeah, 100%.
Basically modern
Robin
day
Hood. But, I mean, it happens in lots of places. I see a cafe doing that where it's pay what you feel.
Yeah.
And people often, because they've been given an opportunity to make an ethical decision, they pay more, they've found out, than they would when they've been told a price. So, you know, now we've got Patreon.
So Bandcamp are doing that.
So on, OnlyFans.
I love that, you know.
You always laugh at OnlyFans, but it can be music and stuff.
Oh, I saw they'd They've
Quite
posted.
often it's not though.
They
You're on
You're alluding to
They posted something recently. They're actually trying to give grants. I saw this on Facebook.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, they're actually trying to give grants to musicians. And
Right. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
comments are just people ripping the piss
Laugh
out of
it,
them,
yeah.
obviously. But
It was true. I didn't I did think it was just for that format, what we're all thinking of, but no one's
BBs.
saying. Yeah, and bum bums.
Feet and the earlobes.
Yeah,
Yeah, whatever
I
floats
did
your
find
boat.
it was just a platform for people to show their passion and promote themselves and be paid in full for it. So yeah, whatever you've got. I mean, I would if I had the attributes of what it took.
Make a lot of money.
Go in. But yeah, it's interesting, these platforms emerging, and you can invest into somebody that you like, or a character or a band that you actually want to help. And I think that's, oh, by the way, we've got Patreon, guys. Old Farm Bus.
What do
Always
you post on
promoting.
it?
What's that?
What do you post on it?
We do, you can get half price tickets. You can see what me and Chrissy have been up to in the background.
Mikey
Yeah.
puts topless photos of
Yeah,
things.
yeah. A little nit slip now and then.
premium package.
Yeah, oh, and Chrissy does a podcast solely for Patreon, which is the Made It podcast. So yeah, check that out, guys. But again, it's a platform, an arena where artists can be inventive of ideas and put themselves there, where they can be paid into solely.
Ultimately, you
I like that.
as a producer of content, you give away a lot for free.
Yeah.
There's only one thing, two things, whatever, on Patreon that is not for free. So that's a way to support you.
Yes.
It's a similar way, like that you're still building a fan base of free things, but hopefully they're going to translate to being Patreon.
And because you've
people.
given so much of yourself away and so much free things in your time, music videos or whatever you've created, people are more inclined to go, oh, do you know what? He's given a lot out, as much as he could. I'm wanting to give something back there. So yeah, if artists are willing to give a bit of themselves and a bit of free, then they're probably more likely to be supported back.
Yeah.
It's like
Do you
adding
know what I mean?
value, isn't it?
Yeah.
Adding value and then receiving. But I always think that if you go after something and you don't think about the money and you do it with passion, then the money just comes anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
completely
I mean, that's
agree.
quite a, like, let's just put it out there. And it's not very, like,
business.
business. I'm really shit at business, guys. Probably why I've made fuck off from my music. But
Do you
It's
know?
about focusing more on the process than the result, though. I know I know what you mean.
And I do think there's a switching point.
Yeah.
I honestly think it's a positive thing. Piracy. For
That's
now.
a perfect comment. Yeah, we've turned her into a pirate just from this one session.
Getting an iPad.
I mean, do you know when it was a huge thing, piracy?
Yeah.
And they were slamming down on it. The adverts are hilarious.
Yeah, they
wouldn't
You
murder
wouldn't
your
steal
nan.
from your grandma. All that. Do you think it was the artists that were really railing against it, or was it more the sort of background and
I
cogs?
think it would have been the labels.
It's got to be the money, man.
Yeah,
It's got to
because
be
artists just keep creating and they just keep making, and we're going to keep playing. And it's the people that are actually feeling a bit of loss from this
Yeah.
that are the ones ringing the bells.
Yeah.
But you know what you were saying earlier about artists not knowing how to monetize stuff, and then if someone else was to come over and monetize it without the artist's permission,
Yeah.
that would be a bit annoying. In essence, that's really what labels are doing.
Yeah, yeah.
And they were at the time. I mean, a lot of artists seem a bit more savvy about it now,
Yeah.
and a lot more people do self-release.
Self-sufficient.
But back then, it was a case of labels know how to monetize your music, you don't, so that's why you talk to them.
Yeah.
And so the internet pirates come along, like the Napster of the time, until they went legit, and the other sorts. Pirate Bay, they were another big one.
Yeah.
They're just another lot of people who are monetizing music, but the labels are getting pissed off because they're not involved.
Yeah,
Well, that's it. The
So
labels.
the labels are gatekeeping it. Just like
Vicious
With this
circle.
narrative, though, innit, of the artists, it's they're taken away from the artists, and some artists are even coming out and going, "Yeah, it's taken away from the artist." How much are they saying that, or the labels telling them to say that? Just say this, bit of PR.
Yeah,
give you some
completely
money.
agree.
They control the money. So there is a lot of money to be made. But then they just exploit. And I'm not saying, you can use it to your own advantage and every experience is different. But of course, when you're not making as much money and that affects your business, you're going to suddenly clamp down and pay for adverts
Yeah.
to say no.
Another ethical decision I find interesting on the same merit is softwares and so
Yeah.
on.
And creating.
Yeah, downloading your softwares. Because for me, I want everybody, upper class, lower class, any class, to have an opportunity to create, and all at a good standard. And we know, as artists and musicians, to have a really quality track produced, to then get a really quality music video, everything done, it's probably looking at $1,000 by the end of it,
if you
potentially.
can be.
And you know, then when people go, oh, do you know what? I'm going to try and do this myself. We've got the school of YouTube now that I can learn from. I can make it myself in my own way. But then you've got all the softwares that are 300 quid,
Yeah.
£100 plugins, Final Cut Pro, X amount.
Adobe costs if you want the whole Adobe suite, that's
Yeah.
£20 a plugin.
100%.
Per month.
So and even buying the laptop and so on that it sits on is
Yeah.
all so ridiculously expensive. So when you hear people that have gone and got the softwares through piracy, how do you feel on that merit?
Again, with like companies like Apple, they're not short of a few bob, are they? So borrowing a copy of Final Cut or Logic, if you're not really making that much money out of it, if you're running a studio all on pirated software, and you're making money, that would maybe be a bit odd.
So you're sort of weighing it up to how much you're actually profiting from in that. So because if it's just you're an amateur and you want to create and that's all you're doing for self, I think
There's the harm. Yeah.
fire. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Go for
They
it.
get a
Don't
bit
they give you
glitchy.
trials?
They do, but they're not very.
Then it
good.
lasts 30 days
Yeah,
and then
you
you end
can't
up
do much on
having
it.
to pay.
But I think a lot of it with like if you're not a big established kind of like making money out of it, that kind of thing, it discriminates a bit. It's obviously if you can't afford it, and I just don't think there's any harm in you if you're not making money out of it taking something. And because at the end of the day, a lot of the time you download illegal stuff and it's glitchy to fuck, and it's a nightmare to use, but you'll use it because you want to create and it's working enough to work. But then you got to the point where you bought Ableton just because it kept glitching out, and it's easier to have that kind of support.
You can never
I can ring
update
Ableton and
your
go, it ain't
software.
working. Fix this, please. Yeah, you can't update anything.
Yeah.
But I did it with Logic. I used to have illegal
Same.
Logic, and then I was like, I can't. It's just glitching out, breaking. I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah.
And I bought it, and I think it kind of comes to the level of if you're using it a lot, it gets a ball ache if you've got the illegal version anyway. So you tend to probably save up and get one.
Yeah.
But then the prices you got to come in. Another question is they are fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So if they're that expensive, how many people are just going to put up or shut up and just kind of make do with what they've got, and how many people are actually going to buy it? If they sold them, I think there's an argument to be things to be sold cheaper because they're going to be making a lot of money on each one anyway.
Yeah.
If they sold them cheaper, would they sell more of them?
I think they have started to implement that, haven't they?
Yeah, there's quite a lot of it. And Rent to Own is another really good one because I've got quite a few softwares on Rent to Own. But that's another one, like an Arteria who make a load of plugins. I got that on Rent to Own, and the price I paid was, I think, £20 for a certain amount of months, but it was altogether about 480 quid. Once mine had finished, partway through my subscription, they would have started selling that at 100 quid for the whole bundle. They knocked it down by 80%, and I'm there paying the original price. But surely if they knock it down by 80%, they can still make more money than if not, because if they don't, because less people will pirate it at that price. If they think it is, I'm getting a really, really good deal, I'll go buy that. Because I've done that with other softwares that I have seen at the right price and think, I wouldn't want to pay 200 quid for it, but I'll pay 50, and then I've gone and bought it. Whereas
It's easier to buy it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that it's yours then, and it takes all that pressure away of is this going to crash? I think the best thing I saw a company do was Final Cut, because they give an honesty box in essence, and it would be: are you an amateur? You pay this price. Are you a professional? You pay this price. And I think people that are making good movies after a few films, they've got all the money they need to pay for the professional package, and maybe they might get different incentives and little perks within it. But having, like on Patreon, really different tiers of what you can afford, give what you can, would be a really good incentive to start getting people onto them softwares. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I've done too many projects where it's just ballsed up in the last second.
No, we've had it. Jesus Christ, we've written some of the best songs in the past, isn't it? Like, this is the best thing we've ever done, and then the whole project, like, was it Megan Jim?
The amount of times where I've had to rebuild entire projects.
Ouch.
Sometimes, even when I've thought it's been beyond salvageable, and like a year later I found a solution, I was like, oh my god, I can actually rescue this project. But yeah, if we'd have had all legit software, that probably wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, we might have had number one hit by now.
I think well, from the conversation, it's a bit of a catch-22, and it's the consumer making ethical decisions.
Yeah.
But then it's also the big business and the companies being ethical with the decisions you can make.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? If everyone plays an ethical part in it, there'd be less piracy, because you'd feel like you've been given freedom to choose.
Also, with the whole taking the prices down and putting them on sale, if they still can afford to sell something at £200 that they were originally trying to sell for 2,000, where was all the rest of the money going? How have they valued that at £2,000?
They're basically showing you what they're doing.
We are shafting you.
Yeah.
We are taking a lot of money and we're taking a piss, but this is the only option you've got, I'm afraid. So, and it's full on profiteering.
Yeah, how can you go from 2,000 to 200?
I go to you, Gemma. Do you know how you said you've always done it by the book?
Yeah.
And you've always paid no matter what. Why did you feel that to do right? Had you been sort of taught that and told you need to pay for everything?
Yeah, probably. And I don't have a problem paying for things if I can afford it and it's something useful. However, now I've got into more and more into the music industry, and I realise like how expensive it is just to set yourself up with the laptop, with Logic. Oh, and you need that other thing, and you need the speakers, and there's just so much that you've got to like put in.
Invest into.
Yeah, like I would like a cheaper version of Logic if anyone knows, because my trial's going to run out soon.
This is all this podcast has amounted to. Is sorting out. I can sort you out after this. Yeah.
Although I do by the rules.
FBI smashing into the bus. Get down, get down, get down.
Yeah.
I mean, so do you feel, from where we've explored, do you feel differently to getting music, to getting film, to getting software? Do you know what I mean? In terms of piracy, would you go, I'd still buy tracks, I'd still buy film, I'm more inclined to getting software and being a different type of pirate?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you know what I mean?
Like a pirate, like a choosy pirate, a picky pirate.
Picky pirate. That's amazing. I'm going to be, you're a picky pirate, I'm going to try and be, and not to sound an ego, I'm going to be an ethical pirate.
Yeah, so we
gonna-
can just adapt our piracy.
Yeah, honestly, and not that I'm going to be
Ships.
running out for One Direction album and so on, but I think they're all right. I think they're doing sound. I think Harry Potter.
They're not
I don't know
together
where
anymore.
to. What's that?
One Direction aren't together anymore.
Split now.
Well,
Don't
you
cry,
know, that
Mikey,
little
don't
Neil.
cry.
Yeah.
I think
Smash
they're doing
everything
sound.
up.
You have no idea what
But,
they're doing, do you?
whoever we're talking, JLS. Now we're talking. Yes, boys.
They're definitely still together.
Same
Are they?
again. I'm really struggling to get Harry Potter. I can't watch Harry Potter at the minute.
Why?
It's just nowhere. It's not on
Is it on
Netflix. It's not on Prime.
That's probably because
it's not
J.K.
on
Rowling's been
Disney.
cancelled.
Yeah. But either way, I
will
feel
find you some Harry
comfortable.
Potter.
They're all doing all right out of it. We've got Harry Potter World. We've got
Yeah.
all the merch.
It's Warner, isn't it? that do
Oh
Harry
man,
Potter, so
absolutely.
Yeah, Harry Potter.
they're not short of it.
This is where I'm going. I'm going to make my ethical decisions on how I choose it. Now I'm starting to make money from filmmaking.
Yeah.
I'm going to invest into certain softwares that I think I can
Yeah, so you're making
Afford
money,
into.
so you put
put it back into. But with Harry Potter, I just want a little bit of escapism, and Daniel Radcliffe is fine. That's what, and that's little Ron. He's all right, isn't he? He's in a
Yeah.
few Ed
Oh, thank you.
staring over. Yeah, I saw him the other day. I didn't know he was in a Ed Sheeran
Oh yeah.
music video.
Yeah,
Oh,
they did
yeah.
that video, didn't they?
Yeah.
That was quite cool.
Yeah, we had fun doing that.
Yeah. The next half an hour of this podcast is all just asking Sam how his experience with Ed Sheeran was.
Make up answers. Depending on we're on.
Are you? What's your perspective, man? We'll
I
go
know,
around
I'm
the table.
What
trying
type
to
of pirate are you?
I don't
Yeah.
say I'm quite. I like to think I'm an ethical pirate.
Ethical pirate.
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a very picky.
Arr.
I'm not very picky. I'm not very picky in the slightest. I'll take.
What you can.
I wasn't going to say I'll steal. what
Yeah,
I
but you
can,
did
'cause
just say I
I
steal.
was about to, but yeah, because I don't. I still if
You're a filthy pirate.
yeah maybe. But if there's if there is a band that I really really like, I'll go and see them. I will go and watch them.
And come on, Jack Sparrow.
Yeah.
I'm a respectful pirate.
Yeah.
R for respect.
Oh dear.
Got it in.
How long were you thinking
Literally,
of that for
when
the
you were
entire
saying yours, that came into my head, and I thought this is brilliant.
For Picky. Matey.
Picky pirates are for respect.
Ethical.
We could create a little quiz and then people
Yes.
could like figure out what type of pirate they are.
Yeah.
I
We
love that
basically-
idea, but I don't think we're ever going to do it.
No.
It was a great idea.
If you start a studio and steal all of your software, what kind of pirate are you? That would be a filthy pirate.
If you're making money off it, yeah.
Yeah.
So we're all part of the piracy problem.
Yeah. It's okay sometimes.
But is it a problem?
I think, is it?
Is it a problem?
Yeah, that.
Who does it really affect?
Yeah.
Let us know what you think about these pirates. Again, guys, thank you for being a part of Series of Theories podcast. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We love you all. If you want to be a part of this podcast, come on. Big love to you all. Peace. Bye.